We live in a world ruled by the secret elite, a world where a blindfold is put on citizens to disguise the true intent of the wealthiest families. Politicians have no power. They are bought to satisfy these agendas. We are lied to, made to believe we are a democracy, that we have a choice. Where was this choice when our $7 billion in tax dollars bailed out the banks that robbed us during the housing crisis? Where is our bailout?
We're sitting in a state right now where a majority of the voters disapprove of your handling of the economy. We'll be going to Virginia later, where a majority of the voters do not think you deserve to be reelected.
The fact is that the American people are rightly frustrated over what they see as a system in which responsibility is not always rewarded. That sense that the American dream is slipping away, I think that is something that helped get me elected, but it hasn't been entirely solved yet.
Some of the frustration has come out in this Occupy Wall Street protests. You've expressed sympathy with their position, their feeling of powerlessness.
What I've said is that I understand the frustrations that are being expressed in those protests. In some ways, they're not that different from some of the protests that we saw coming from the Tea Party.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Will the politicians fix the economy in the U.S.?
No.
Why not?
They are politicians. Politicians tell the public what it wants to hear to get elected. Meanwhile, they align their votes with the interests of the corporations that fund their campaigns. Politicians are prostitutes telling little Johnny public that his 4-inch killer is amazing, while the corporations are the pimps that smack that political bitch to keep her in line.
Why doesn't the public want to hear the truth, so they can make informed decisions to help fix the economy?
They don't like the truth. The truth is ugly. For example, if you told every citizen that if they raised the taxes to 100%, the government would still not have enough money to cover expenses.
Thomas Rainsford Lounsbury was an educator in the 19th century, and he said, "It never ceases to surprise me at the infinite capacity of the human mind to resist the introduction of useful knowledge." And that's what it is. People know better. People sense better. It's a steady downhill slide. You know, this country is really finished. I mean, it really is technically finished. It's just a matter of playing out the end game.
The December 5th, 2011 cover of Time magazine represents a disturbing truth. The American corporate-controlled establishment media presents a picture of the world that is meant to placate and pacify the people of the United States in favor of presenting reality as it is. While the covers of the European, Asian, and South Pacific editions have an image of chaos in the streets in Egypt with Revolution Redux in bold white letters in the center, the American edition is a cartoon with the headline, "Why Anxiety is Good for You." Is this just a meaningless marketing tactic, or does it exemplify the greater trend in how the American corporate media presents the world to the people of the United States?
We are brainwashed through national media and Hollywood, which they own, to be their perfect drones. We spend our hard-earned income on useless items we do not need to fill their greed and increase their power. We have been fed lies about the American dream, a dream which has been realized, but only by a selective few.
George,
They're
I love
not
you,
high.
George,
They're
but
not
that's
high. I don't care if you love
nonsense.
me or not.
That's
They're not
nonsense.
high on the conscious or the
No, that's
subconscious
nonsense.
list of those people who are in charge of things in this country. The owners, forget these foolish elections. The owners of this country don't care about the poor in
The
general.
owners of
and they
this
don't care
country,
about
what are we going... is this Karl Marx talking to me? The owners of this country are the voters of this country.
You're wrong about that, my friend.
Aren't the
You're
owners of
absolutely
this
wrong.
country the voters in this country who
No,
elected George
they're
Bush?
not. Listen, politics, these elections are a charade. It is a charade.
okay.
It is, they are meant to... Well, I'll tell you, just listen for a minute. Learn a little something. The elections and politicians are in place in order to give Americans the illusion that they have freedom of choice. You don't really have choice in this country.